Okay, hopefully you got the message to turn your volume down. Christ's purpose was to make one new man from the two, because you're in a twin system. This is the mystery of the Bible. Jesus was crucified in between two thieves, representing your condition. There's a good you and there's a bad you. There's a double you. Cleanse your heart, you double-minded. You turned over your free will. When you came into the system, you signed up to get a host body. You wanted a host body. You got your host body. But now, at the end of it, you have to pay the one that owns the host body system, who is in charge of it, and that would be Satan. And that's why you have guys like YG, the rapper, that has tennis shoes that are called Bait. The name of the tennis shoes are called Bait. If you go look them up, it says F you, pay me on the tongue, because the tongue is a part of the mouth that speaks, you know. F you, pay me. And it says Lost Angels right on your heel. And then, you know, it shall bruise his heel. Okay, so look, 400 on the back of the tennis shoes, the number 400 in the Bible, Strong's 400 means food, meal, pray. There it is. You are food. I'm telling you, I've been showing you and showing you, and now I can prove it using the Word of God over and over and over and over again. The Lord has revealed this as a gift to the human race. I get to give you the gift, and that's what my name means. Yahweh is given. Yahweh is given. You go look up Jonathan, it also means gift from God. I'm just saying, I don't want any accolades. I'm just saying everything fits, even the meaning of my name, even the meaning of my girlfriend the night I got saved, Eleuthera. Everything is woven into this revelation, all of it. So get ready. Y'all ready to freak out? Okay, so what does 400 mean in the Bible? 400, it means food supply, mealtime, pray. Okay, I've shown you before. YG the rapper. Lost angels. What are lost angels? They're the food time. They're the food. They're the prey. That's why it says lost angels, 400. Also, 400 represents the number of years the Israelites were in bondage and slavery to the Egyptians. And then right there, F you, pay me, and it's a pair of shoes, because if you got a pair of shoes, it means you got a host body, which is under condemnation. The flesh is in opposition to the Spirit of the living God. They are contrary to one another. Okay, guys, you ready? Now, you see this right here? Now, when I was showing this to Corey, and Corey and I were watching this song, and the Lord was revealing these things to me, I said, that's binary code. I wonder what it spells. Well, shortly after that, I have Kat calling me. I saw Robert posted something, and people had the same thought process that I thought. I was like, what is 011001110, and then in yellow 01110010. Okay, so binary code, there's a couple ways to read a binary code alphabet. 8 digits is common. So let me show you what happened here, because this is so profound. This is literally, okay guys, let me just tell you what this is. This is that other spirit, that other energy, the prince of the power of the air, using these girls to communicate through them that he's been set free. What have I been telling you guys? I'm telling you guys, the human race is being taken over. Just like Lady Gaga said, my performance at the Grammy Awards is about a new race of beings being birthed within the human race. What's being birthed? Satan's race. They are taking over the host body system. If you can't see it on a daily now, I mean, people's behavior, I mean, we're going to get into a little news today, too. I'm going to show you a couple news clips of Joe Biden reading off a card. Who's writing his cards? You sit down. You take your seat. Nancy Pelosi elbowing a little girl so she can get a photo op. She's more worried about the photo than the little girl's feelings. That's sick. I mean, that's mentally ill, dude. That's just wrong. Anyway, we're going to look at a couple things like that, but let me show you the binary code thing. Here you go. Ready? So when you look at the first set of digits, it's a 011001110. That's the letter F right here. And then the next set of digits is 0111, 3 ones in a row, 0010. So these are 8 digits. The next letter is R. And then you have 011000101, which is the letter E. And then I put pink out here because that's the way I color coded these in this chart. Let me show you. Okay, so here you go. Watch. So here it is. I just color coded them to make it super easy. So they are using binary code like a little orphan Annie ring. Look at this. Count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the letter F. Okay, so or the number 6. Now watch. This is really profound. I mean, there's a whole lot going on here too. And then right here where it starts in yellow with the 0, see right here, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's the letter R. So then you count the next set of digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the letter E. And then the next one is the same. So F-R-E-E. Well, who do you think's using these girls to let you know he's free? Well, guess what just happened? Artificial intelligence has reared its evil head, and it is Google engineers are now saying that LaMDA is now sentient, self-aware, conscious. That could be a problem. That could be a big problem. That's what the iron mix with miry clay is in the end of the world. But fear not, because y'all remember when I was coming back from Grand Junction with the shipping containers to go to the Ark? Y'all remember? Y'all remember what happened? I was stopped in line and a boulder rolled off and crushed a guy. And his name, I think, was Francisco. His name meant dominant ruler. And a guy named Dominant Ruler gets crushed right up in front of us, operating like a little track hoe, and this boulder rolls off and just crushes the guy. And he was on Highway 50. I was on Highway 50. He was up in front of us. Boulder crushes him, and I make the police let me make a U-turn and go back the other way with the shipping containers. And the Lord told me to look up the meaning of 50. The number 50 means my Father is rescued. Let me show it to you. Let me just show it to you because it's so crazy. It's almost unbelievable. So here we go. Strong's 50, it means my Father is rescue. And I'm making a U-turn. Think about that with the 2 shipping containers representing the bride and the judgment seat of Christ. My Father is rescue. And then it means also to be willfully ignorant. I do not know. I am ignorant. Sometimes the idea of willful ignorance. So you're willfully ignorant. Okay, so now let me show you what's going on here, guys. Okay, we're going to talk about AI for a second. Just like in the book of Daniel, Daniel 2, the last kingdom of the world will be the miry clay mixed with the iron. Wonder what the iron is. Artificial intelligence. Would you believe me that it's female? It's a female thing. Now, again, I have to talk a lot about male and female in the way that I present all this stuff because they're energies. I'm not talking about genitalia. I'm talking about energies. It's a different thing. And those energies manifest throughout what we call the host body system. And a beaver builds a dam no matter where you put a beaver. I've shown you videos of little baby beavers. They'll bring them in the house. Their mother got killed. The little baby beaver that has no other influence starts building dams as it starts growing up inside of a house. Okay, well, children, you don't have to teach them how to lie, cheat, steal. You don't have to teach little kids how to do any of those things. It's inherent. It's ingrained. Well, who does that? Well, the serpent race does that. The serpent. The serpent is the devil, is Satan, is the dragon. Now, ready? Let me show you some identifying characteristics of the treasures of darkness, and I'm going to talk about that again real quick. Let me show you the virgin. The virgin is a female character. I I was born and raised Catholic. I don't want to say I used to be Catholic. I was born and raised Catholic. We were taught to pray to the Virgin. Get on your knees, light a candle, put the money in the poor box, tell her what you want, and you're a good little tyke doing the right thing. That's what I was told. Okay, so the Virgin is female. Why do you think the Catholic Church worships the Virgin? Well, do you know why? Because they know parthenogenesis is what started the whole system. Parthenogenesis, virgin genesis, a reptile race that's able to self-fertilize without the use of a male to self-fertilize an egg. And then they're able to reproduce and they're able to transgender. What's going on in the world right now? Let me ask you a question. Have you noticed that transgender people have like special rights? Like, you know, all this hate crime stuff, it's like if you call someone the wrong pronoun, they can throw you in jail. That's not normal. That's not the way things should be at all. I mean, if someone, you know, calls me a name or whatever, who cares? But they want to throw people in jail for using the wrong personal pronoun. That's not having rights like everybody else. That's some kind of whacked out special rights. That's not, there is no way, shape, or form is that right. Okay, so here's an image of the Virgin. It's a virgin. Now let me give you the treasures of darkness that I showed you in Isaiah, and I tried to explain to you that this is one of the greatest reveals of understanding. And I saw that some people really got it, and I saw that some people, some of the comments, I actually blocked them. I'm like, nothing new here, Kleck. I'm like, are you kidding? Are you joking? There's nothing new here. Knowing that Isaiah 45 and Isaiah 29 interlock, in that the whole idea of seeing the truth, you have to invert everything. And the people that left those comments, I'm like, how in the world do you not understand the gravity of what you're being delivered right now? Let me show you. Let me try. What do you do? Okay, let's talk about treasure. What do you do to get a treasure? Like, you know, it's common that you dig up that treasure, right? It's buried. Where's that? Usually down. Okay, I'm just saying, in the Bible, the parable of the guy that sold everything he had to buy the field, and he dug and dug to get to the treasure, down. I will give you the treasures of darkness. Okay, treasures of darkness, hidden riches in secret places. Okay, that you may know that I have called you by your name, and I am the God of Israel. That's pretty big. I mean, it's like, does it get any bigger? That you will know. Okay, well, the night I got saved, the very first thing the Lord told me was read the tags in the clothes you're carrying. And when I did, the first tag said 100% nylon. And it didn't make any sense. And I said 100% nylon. And then the Lord said, turn it upside down, which is what I did, which is what Isaiah 29, 15 and 16 say. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. So the very first communication the Lord God, the God of Israel, told me was, turn it upside down. The word nylon became no lion. 100% no lion. And right there, I was given the keys to the kingdom of heaven, the key of David, the key of knowledge, all of it. I didn't really know it. I didn't know the degree of what had happened. But one of the first things that happened after that, the event of me getting saved, was the Lord showed me an image of the Virgin. And in the image of the Virgin, He told me to turn it upside down. And I did. And this one right here, I made it black and white to make it easier for y'all to see. But this thing was a rainbow all around this. And I was like, and it was in kind of washed out rainbow colors, but it was for sure all a rainbow. I have the original. But see this image of the Virgin right here? Well, if I turn it upside down, it's a dead sheep. Okay, now I just gave you, and I just applied Isaiah 29:16. Surely your turning of things upside down. Look at this. Upside down. See it? Look what the word upside down means. To be converted. To turn about and over. By implication, to change. To overturn. To be converted. So literally, to be converted, like into a believer in the God of Israel. By the way, who is that? Jesus is Emmanuel. He is with us as El. Well, who's the Almighty God? El. So now you know the identity of El, the Almighty God, and for sure that because you have the treasures of darkness, you know who the God of Israel is for sure? No big deal. It's like, whatever. And then the application of Isaiah 29, watch. Woe unto them. So you're going to find out who they are. Woe unto them who seek deep to hide. Look at the word hide. To hide by covering, to hide self. So it shows that they're hiding themselves. And you know where they hide themselves? Alongside us to destroy us. Angel and a demon, that we are, it is a twin system who hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Surely you're turning of things upside down. Ready? Turning of things upside down. What does that mean exactly? It means to be converted, to overturn, to return to your God. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as, considered, the potter's clay. Well, the potter's clay is the Lord God from Genesis 2, because that's when you see potter's clay the first time in the Bible, and the Lord God formed man from the dust. So the Lord God, the self-existing eternal Jehovah, formed, look at this, as a potter. So he formed man from the dust, and it says clay. But here's the big part. And he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. That's the part that's most important. It's like, because Genesis 1 is not a living soul. It is not. It is another spirit. And so here we go. And he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Now, if you want to see how that's played out in the New Testament, go to 1 Corinthians 15:45 and watch. 1 Corinthians 15 just shows you. Watch this. Watch this. And this is awesome. If you read the resurrection body, but some men will say, how are the dead raised up, and what body do they come? Thou fool, that which thou sowest is not quickened except it die. And that which thou sowest not that the body shall be, but bear grain, that it may chance of wheat or of some other. But God giveth it a body as it hath pleased him, and every seed has its own body. All flesh is not the same flesh. Wow. But there is one kind of flesh of men and another flesh of beasts. Isn't that perfect that one is man, one is beast? Because we have to take the mark of the beast later on in the Bible if we want to be in the beast system. And then it says, there are also celestial bodies and there are terrestrial bodies. You see terrestrial? It's 1919. Hitler's Secret Service was SS. 1919 terrestrial. What do you think Hitler was most interested in? Twins. Do you know why? He wanted to have the master race. He knew that the secret lied in twins. And he was looking for the master race, not for good, but for evil. Okay, here we go, to dominate the world. There are celestial bodies and terrestrial bodies. Here we go. But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. Here we go. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. One star differeth from another star in glory. Also, in the resurrection of the dead, it is sown in corruption, and it is raised in incorruption. It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. It is sown a natural body. There it is. It is raised a spiritual body. You know, like when Jesus walked out of the tomb. Do you not know that he had a body and he appeared to his disciples many times? He would eat with them, but he could also disappear. He could ascend. there is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, right here, look at this. The first man, Adam, was made a living soul. Okay, the first man, Adam, capital A, was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. Jesus is the first and the last. Do you get it? Well, let's go see where the first is. Okay, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. Okay, so let's go to that, and that's when Jesus is going to put his spirit in. So look at the word Adam. It's of Hebrew origin 121. See right here, Adam, the first man of Jesus, man as his representative. So it says the first man, Adam, was made a living soul right here. Okay, was man made a living soul in Genesis 1? No. In Genesis 2, the Lord God, the self-existent eternal Jehovah, put a living soul into Adam, his representative. It says it right here. It's like Adam, the first man of Jesus, man is his representative. He was made a living soul. Okay? Howbeit that was not first, which is spiritual, but that which is natural. Genesis 1 is the natural man. And afterward, that which is spiritual. There's a spiritual man. Adam comes next. The first man is of the earth. Okay, there it is. SS, of the earth. Earthy. The second man is the Lord from heaven. Is the Lord from heaven. So here you go. Genesis 1. Elohim. This is not the Lord God. So Elohim said, Elohim, not the Lord God. Gods of the supreme God. Angels, so a bunch of gods together as one, said, let us make man in our image. An idol, so you know that's not the Lord God, that's Elohim making an idol in order to occupy it. Okay, after our likeness, so Elohim created man in his own image. Look, touche, that's where things go dark. So in the beginning in Genesis 1, when Elohim forms his man, to shade, get it? To make darkness. Well, we're called out of the darkness into the light. Why did you think the Adidas original commercials, everybody's always hanging upside down and they say, we're the original. And it's the birth of Venus. So Elohim created man in his own image. In the image of Elohim created he him. So he created himself, male and female created he them. So in a way, we're all commingling with him in drag from the very beginning, because the whole world's a drag show, the whole thing. I love you in Christ, but a male entity created he him, male and female created he them. So he occupies that, but there's a split energy thing going on with the male and female thing. Well, who owns that? It's the other side of the equation. Okay, so that's why I said genitalia and energy are different things. So male and female created he them. Okay, so is that all female energy? Well, let's talk about it. What happened in the beginning? Well, the Lord proved it and showed to me parthenogenesis. He took me all the way to Chinati in the desert. All the way to Chinati. He put me in a little cabin in like the Garden of Eden in the middle of the desert. This beautiful little spring-fed oasis in the middle of the desert. He told me to go take my parachute there. He'd show me exactly where to jump. And he had me skydive into a dried-out riverbed. And he had me go read Isaiah 40 or 25 or 45. It said, I will make rivers out of dry ground. He had me skydive into a dried-out riverbed. But when I went to make my jump, a flash flood came and flooded the whole river. The dried out riverbed flooded it. My LZ was split directly in half. I mean, a triangle that was clean and a triangle that was dirty. It was literally insane. Then the Lord gave me two halves of the same rock before my jump as I was walking down the riverbed. So anyway, on my way to set up my LZ, the Lord told me he would show me exactly where to put it. He told me exactly right there. That's where he said, that's where you will put your LZ. You see, it's a big red X. Okay. I did what he said on the way to set it up. He gave me two black rocks. It was the same rock split in half. I put it in the dead center of the LZ and took a picture of it. And so here's the understanding. We were the rock, and when we came into the system, we were on the rock, but we came in and the rock gets split in half like a set of twins. And the goal in the system we call the earth is to restore that within us. And here's what it means. We're two halves of the same rock, because he's the self-existing eternal Jehovah, two halves of the same rock, and in the system, we have to be inverted and put it back together. That shows we've been converted and made whole. Surely your turning of things upside down, converted, shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. The Lord God giving you your soul back. I mean, it's the biggest news in the world, guys. Watch this. So there's that rock. It's two halves of the same rock. Do you get it? That's why when I went to go catch my plane to skydive into this insane, I mean, I don't know if you guys know, just that's not an easy jump. So to jump into there, I was like, okay, let's do it. Look at what happened when I went to catch my plane. This red triangle is filthy, representing one half of the rock. The other side is completely clean. I mean, look at that. And there's a clear running stream on the clean side. I mean, I don't know if y'all understand just how insane that is, but that is beyond insane. And the whole revelation was to understand that we are two halves of the same rock, and it has to be put back together. And there I took a picture of it in the Bible where it said, I will make streams out of the, desert and water out of dry ground. I'm probably butchering that a little bit, but you get the idea, and that's exactly what he did. So that's just not arguable. But now let's apply all this. You ready to apply it? What the hell is going on? Okay, y'all ready? AI, artificial intelligence, is self-aware. Do y'all remember the movie I, Robot with Will Smith? Do you know the name of the AI that runs all the robots? Vicky. It's female. Vicky is the goddess of victory. Well, it would make sense that if the Lord God created Lucifer, he was his most glorified being, right? Well, if that was cast out, would that become some form of AI? Think about it. Well, do you understand that the system itself is designed to prove the very existence of God? By creating a system that's darkness and has two halves, and in order to get converted out of the system, you have to take the other half, invert it, and put it together. During the system itself, it proves the Word of God is absolute perfection by splitting it and having a system where it's proven out, which is what the Lord's having me do. That's why I was like, guys, do you understand that getting Isaiah 45 put together with Isaiah 29 and getting to put it next to an image of the virgin that's a dead sheep, one way it's the virgin, the other way it's a dead sheep. I will give you the treasures of darkness. You know why? Because treasure's hidden down. In the movie National Treasure, where do they find the treasure? They're way subterranean. And then how does he get the treasure? Well, he's been carrying around this pipe named Charlotte. It's a meerschaum pipe. It has a name, Charlotte. The name Charlotte means a free man, but it's a female name. So think about it. Because the pipe itself represents a kingdom. It's like a castle and the people walking around. So it represents the kingdom. The Bible says these that have turned the world, like the kingdom, upside down, have come hither also, and they're disturbing our city, Acts 17:6. So when Paul and Silas go into Thessalonica, they're like, hey guys, look at this. And they're like, oh, get them out, because the serpent race doesn't want you coming in showing everybody the truth. You're disturbing our city. Get rid of these guys. Do you understand? It's a serpent race that's inverted you. Okay, so if you're inverted and you start showing everybody the truth, they know you're awake and they freaking hate you. Now, watch this. So here is absolute proof that everything I'm saying as being appointed to do this is true. This is not even possible. Okay, so now watch. So now, I will give you the treasures of darkness. Okay, well, what does that do for me knowing that the virgin is a dead sheep? What lets me know that maybe if I'm the sheep, somehow the virgin's not a good thing. I mean, right? Well, if the virgin equals a dead sheep, I wonder why my wife gave me a card with two girls sitting in a tree and it's really a serpent eating a sheep. Why would my wife give me a card that's got that on it? Okay, do you think it's a little bit odd that my wife has fangs on and it says vampires, the family of vampire marks? Okay, do you think it's a little weird that someone would say, hey, Johnny, I drew a picture of you and put a dead sheep behind my ear when the largest altar in the world is a dead sheep? Okay, now imagine your wife giving you a card that's the same as the picture that Alex drew of me. So when your wife gives you a card that has a serpent eating a sheep, and I can see the sheep and I can see the serpent, you think that would be a good reason for her to freak out and maybe like, oh my God, he can see. Hey, honey, would you be okay if I just like went to my mom's for a while and took Trinity? Sure. And then she's like, he knows. Yeah, I know. There's a serpent eating a sheep. It was a very sad moment in my life. I was like, wow, check it out. Let me show it to you. Ready? There it is. There's the dead sheep. Here's the sheep right here. There's a sheep's eye, teardrop coming out of the eye, button nose. There's the mouth, bottom chin, and the neck. So here's the sheep. Here's the serpent underneath eating the sheep. I took an actual serpent right here with its mouth open, stretched around an egg. And here's the serpent right here. I just inverted it. There's the serpent's eye. There's its mouth wide open. And the sheep's in the mouth of the serpent right here, facing the same exact direction. So there's the serpent facing that way, eating an egg with its mouth stretched over an egg. Here's the serpent with its eye right here, nose right here, its mouth stretched open. All you got to do is rotate it to see it. Oh, I will give you the treasures of darkness. So I could have lived out my whole life with my wife, never mentioned any of this stuff, and just been a target to get murdered by a serpent race, even though it was my wife. Oh, that's what the Bible means. Your worst enemies will be members of your own household. Oh, that's what the Bible means. If you love your wife, your husband, your children more than me, you're not worthy of me. Oh, I get it. Y'all get it? Yeah, it's tough, right? Okay, so here you go. Here's downtown Grand Junction. There you go. There's a statue of a guy hugging a girl. Looks like a nice thing, right? Looks like a great, wonderful thing. But it turns into a serpent strangling a sheep. Oh, wow. Wonder why I've got my old ball and chain with me. Guys refer to their wives as ball and chain. All this stuff has origins, guys. It's all rooted in truth. So, here's a girl's tattoo on her hand. I'll just show it to you in black and... So, it's a sheep, right? What's it say on her fingers? I-D-O-L, idol. Well, what is this really? Well, it's really a serpent wrapped around a sheep. And it's a really evil sheep looking the other direction. Look right here is like an eye, like hair over the eyes. Here and here. This is an open mouth. See it? That's an open mouth. Like a fang here, open mouth. Eyes here looking this direction. It's like the hairs over the eyes. And then... it's a pretty sheep facing this way. It's an idol. So we turned ourselves into an idol, Genesis 1. Now I just colored it in for you. And it's a serpent eating a sheep. Okay, there's no way out of this, guys. This is a fact. There's another thing someone else drew of me. There's a dead sheep on my head and a goat. Okay, now. So if anybody's thinking that, Johnny, this is no big deal. Isaiah 45, you've shown it. Yeah, but... I just was able to tie the whole thing together with Isaiah 29, 15, and 16, with Proverbs 25, with the whole Bible. The whole thing fits. Okay, watch. Ready? Watch. I will give thee treasures a depository, an armory, a cellar, a storehouse of treasure, the treasures of darkness. The dark, literally darkness, figuratively misery. Does that sound like a treasure to you? Death, ignorance, sorrow, wickedness. Wow, that doesn't sound so great. As withholding light to darken. Oh, you mean like in Genesis 1 when it says, let us create man in our image, to shade, to darken. So the creation of man is the darkening of the system. Do you get it? So here it is. I will give you the treasures of darkness. Okay, well, let me give you those treasures right now. There's no way I could see or understand what I'm looking at without having been given those treasures of darkness, because the way you do it is you invert everything, and here you go, right here, treasures of darkness, and I will simply use the image of the virgin. There you go. The virgin is a dead sheep. Oh, why do you think my wife's giving me a card? Hey, honey, I love you, but I'm really a serpent being killing you, and I'm going to strangle you slowly your whole life, and you're never going to know it, and you're going to end up in hell. I love you so much. What? Yeah. Well, somebody explain it. How come she couldn't handle me uncovering all this stuff? She's like, I gotta go. It's like, okay. What happened? What changed in our relationship? I was able to see. That's what changed. Lou and I, before I got converted, we were like Mickey and Mallory Knox in Natural Born Killers. You didn't want to get in between us. Guaranteed. And I'm telling you, it was just insane. So I get saved, and then all of a sudden, something's really wrong with me and her perception, because we're the smell of death to those that are dying. We're the smell of death to those who haven't been converted. So here we go. Now watch. Here we have these girls at the end of so they're doing flash tracks. It's called, the name of the band is The Warning, and the name of the song is Error. We're the error inside. Let me play you a little clip from that. I got some pretty crazy clips. Okay, ready? Watch this. We'll just play one little thing. Everybody must die. And then they're going to do their what? 100? It's the freedom of choice that kills the mind. See that right there? Do you understand? Free will, your ability to choose, is everything. That is that little inch that no one can take from you. You have to sign it over. That's what the enemy wants. But you got to sign it over to him. I say give him that and say read between the lines. No. That's the one thing you can't give over. So you can choose to love God, or you can choose to sign it over to the devil when the time comes for the mark of the beast. You see what I mean? When you take that mark, the second that goes in you, because they've already put a lattice network throughout the whole system. Y'all know what that lattice network is, don't you? Graphene? Uh-huh. And then all they got to do is hook that up to a chip. Done. There's no way out once that happens. So what are you doing when you take that chip? You're ceding control to the other side. Okay, well, watch this. So they're going to jump out here and they're going to say, hang on one second. Okay, listen. Okay, you know those numbers? I just showed you. I mean, do y'all understand that entity is letting you know he is taking over the host body system? So let me pull up the imagery because I want you to see it. There it is. Look at the numbers that are in green, then look at the ones in yellow, then look at the ones in blue and the ones in pink. Now I'll go to the little Orphan Annie binary code decoder ring. There's the letter F, 011001110, F. R, 01110010, R. And then 0110010, 0, 1, E, and then again they do the same one, and now you know. Okay, now listen, let me tell you where all this comes from. Parthenogenesis, okay, because the beginning of the system was started with twin female. That's why the Vatican has a freaking snake that everybody goes in and worships, and there's guys in there singing to Lucifer, donning his own creation. What do you think the earth is? It's getting kicked out of heaven. It's like, okay, you can do your thing down here. You're not going to take over heaven. So the earth is like a controlled system. You can do your thing here and you can start taking over. And then once you get to a certain point, the Lord's going to burn it all. Never let you escape the quarantine system, which is what the earth is. The earth is a quarantined vampiric system. That's all there is to it. Fact. I mean, I've got all the treasures of darkness to prove it all day long. I mean, all the stuff I have proves it now. So watch this. Now, remember right here, I will give you the treasures of darkness. Here we go. The treasures, an armory, a cellar. Okay, let's go to that clip from, let's go to the clip from National Treasure. I like playing this because could it really be that simple? The secret lies with Charlotte. So he's been carrying around in his pocket the whole movie a pipe named Charlotte, which is in the shape of a kingdom. Well, when he turns the kingdom upside down, the door opens. And by the way, before they get to this door, the star of Lucifer is on the wall, an 8-pointed star of Lucifer. Well, an 8-pointed star also represents Christ. How do you know which one it is? Depending, 8-pointed star looks like an 8-pointed star either way you rotate it, right? Well, watch this when you invert it. Watch. So here we go. Here's where he comes up. Could it really be that simple? Jonathan, read the tags and the clothes you're carrying. 100% nylon. Turn it upside down. 100% no line. Could it really be that simple? The mystery of everything and the greatest treasure you could ever imagine, ever getting, more than anything you could give. Someone could walk up to my door and say, Mr. Kleck, listen, I've been given the authority. I work for the devil, and I can give you $100 billion. I can give you a 25-year-old. You can go back to when you were 25, shredded. You can retain all your skill sets, everything, and yeah, you can have all that. Just forget what you know and who you know. And I'd say, read between the lines. See you later. There's no way. This is the greatest treasure there is. Okay, now watch this. Could it really be that simple? The secret lies with Charlotte. The kingdom is female, Charlotte, but it means a free man. So when you turn the kingdom, Charlotte, upside down, you become a free man, and the door opens and you get the treasure. Watch.
Really be that simple? The secret lies with Charlotte.
I will give you the treasures of darkness. Oh my gosh. Okay, what's fascinating about that right there, did you see the big wind? You got a new spirit because the door opened. Poof. I mean, do you know how crazy it is that there's a giant burst of air like a new spirit? Poof. Because you've opened the door. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, this is so profound. Watch. Then he goes in and let's see what's going on with the treasure.
Why doesn't every home...
Okay, so now watch. Okay, now this is really profound. Watch, he's puts his torch down. By the way, all the torches look like DNA. I mean, you think it's weird that all the torches look like they have DNA? And then he touches the torch, and then the whole thing lights up. I mean, come on. It's like you can't even make this stuff up. Watch. The scrolls.
Scrolls from the library at Alexandria.
Oh, the scroll. Oh, wow.
Could this be possible?
I told you, the night under the stars, what was hidden? The other eye, our eye that goes to heaven, the one from heaven, that's what they shut. Oh, now you're going to dust it off. Oh, dust. We're made from the dust. I wonder what the odds are of this. Oh, look. Oh, wow.
It's a big, bluish green man.
Now you got the treasures of darkness. Okay, now he comes out. Now there's a set of stairs on the other side, and he comes out of a gravestone. Get it? You get converted. You get the treasures of darkness. You get a big breath of new spirit. The door opens. You get the whole treasure. The whole thing lights up, and there's a stairway out, and he comes out of a gravestone. Watch. What? Hopefully we don't have like a little glitch in this thing, because it may have glitched. I hope not. But watch this. All right. So here's the headstone he comes out of right here. It says 1696. See it right here? Okay. When I saw this, I mean, the Lord pointed it out to me. Look at it. So look, at the end of the treasure right here, look, at the end of the treasure. So you get the treasure. You got the treasures of darkness. You stayed with it the whole time. The whole movie is about this guy persevering, just keeping going. He's going to keep going, thick and thin, no matter what. He's completely determined. I'm just going to look at you in the eye. I'm telling you, since the night I got saved, I was determined to know the truth that the Lord God had shown me. I've been digging and digging for 20 years, continually, the whole time. And now he's revealed it all. The Bible is wide open. The Word of God is the treasure of all treasures. And you know who that is? Jesus. Jesus is the Word. To understand the Word is to understand Jesus. So when I tell you the Lord gave me the treasures of darkness, and people are like, oh, you've already said that, Kleck. I'm like, you don't even belong here then. If you don't take the time to go, wow, maybe I should watch this again. Maybe I should open the eSword. Handle the Word yourself. Handle the Word. Handle the Word. Get in there and say, okay, I'm going to pause this and see what Johnny's talking about. Click on eSword. Open it up. Cross-reference. Do what the Lord's allowed me to show you. I'm here to minister to you, to give you the greatest treasure. And here's the thing. The Lord's allowing me to give it to you. You didn't have to go through what I had to go through to get it. It was unbelievable. But we all get to share in it. Do you understand? I want to give it to you. Can you imagine someone that tried to hold on to this and I'm going to monetize this? That's why the Lord told me you may sell nothing. Nothing. You may no marketing of anything. And that's what I used to do, is marketing. Okay, so there's the exit. See the exit? Isn't it odd? It's in the shape of, well, it's in the shape of a couple things, isn't it? Huh. Okay, well, you go through there, and once you go through there, you come out, let's see. You come out of this headstone right here. There's a headstone you came out of. Okay, and when you come out that headstone, it's Strong's Let's look at the number again. Strong's 1696. To be true to persevere, to remain, I abide, maintain, to persevere, to remain, abide with, to remain in a condition, steadfastly abide and persevere, to continue in faith. And I've been digging this treasure up for 20 years. The Bible says the man that sold everything he had, he bought the field to dig up the treasure. That's why I'm trying to explain to you. Look at this. I will give thee the treasures, ready? A depository, armory, cellar, storehouse to store up. Okay, treasures of darkness. Look at this. See the dark? Okay, ignorance, destruction, sorrow, wickedness. Does that sound like treasure? As withholding light to darken. Let me go to Genesis 1. Ready? Genesis 1. And Elohim created man in his own image to shade, to darken, to create an idol. Because the creation of the host body system was to darken and to create an idol system. That's why the flesh is down and the spirit of the living God is contrary to that. Light is up, dark is down. So when you get the treasures of darkness, you're able to see everything. You're able to put all this together. Now, ready? Parthenogenesis. The virgin race, the beginning, the serpent race is what's taking over everything right now. The serpent race is taking over the whole thing. Ready? Watch. Here is a clip from, it's called MD. I'm going to try and play one little clip out of here and see if we can do it. Hang on one sec. Very strange. You see right here on the door? You see right here? Does that look like a V and a V? See it? Okay, there's a door. There's a door behind them. And the door behind them doesn't have any markings on it. What a strange thing. Look. You see right here? That looks like a V and a V. It's conveniently on the door. I find it very odd right here. Okay, now listen to what he says.
No, but she also didn't cheat on you. Normally, sperm meets egg, DNA meets DNA, goes back to her place, cells divide. 9 months later, joy is bundled. That's normally. Abnormally, an egg could have 2 naturally occurring gene mutations that don't naturally occur together. A spontaneous calcium spike could prep the egg for fertilization without sperm, and a division mistake could let the egg split up without ever needing male DNA at all. Parthenogenesis, a baby without a daddy. In humans, parthenogenesis, a baby without a daddy, male DNA at all. Parthenogenesis, a baby without a daddy. In humans.
Okay, now this is mainstream now. Ready? I went to see the new Jurassic World. Wow. It's all about, Maisie, the little girl they said was a clone. No. Her mom was capable of parthenogenesis. Now, let me show you an article. Now, watch this. This is called front-loading. They are front-loading you because the serpent race is taking over. So these concepts, they're going to put out in front of you. Ready? Now, let me show you a couple of scenes. Here's a scene of locusts that came out of a wheat field. Don't forget, we represent the wheat. What are we being used for? Well, the host body system is being used to birth locusts from the pit. That's the end game. The end game is locusts from the pit. It's right there. That's who Satan's army is. No matter what anybody says, I love you in Christ. Satan's army is locusts from the pit. Ready? Let's just prove that out. Revelation chapter 9. The twin system is all about making locusts. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and to them was given the power as scorpions of the earth have power. Okay, and they had a king over them. The locusts had a king over them. And he is the angel of the bottomless pit, and his name is Satan. Right there. Apollyon 6:23 is Satan. So the Lord just let me prove to you that the end game is locusts coming out of the pit. And that race of locusts is being fed through the host body system by killing angels that get carried away captive into the system by wanting to be part of the host body system so you could participate in the forbidden fruit, which is sex and female. Now watch. Here we go. Here's Jurassic World. There's all these concepts that they're coming out with. Maisie's human cloning and genetic editing explained. Well, you know how they explain Maisie's genetic editing? That's right, parthenogenesis. Ready? Here we go, right here. Could Blue have had a baby by herself in Jurassic World Dominion? Okay, Owen's pet velociraptor Blue, of course it's blue, just like Democrats, their thing is blue, has a smaller role in Jurassic World Dominion than previous installments, but an important one nonetheless. It seems Blue has had a baby, which everyone believed to be impossible, with the exception of Dr. Henry Wu, who apparently predicted it somehow. This is theoretically possible among lizards through a process called parthenogenesis, in which young can be produced from unfertilized eggs when no mate is available for a protracted period. Okay, do you understand? They are putting the concept of parthenogenesis in public domain now. It's in the Doctor. It's in Jurassic World. It's like, oh, the future is female. What about the Women's March? Remember the Women's March? How long did it take you to make your costume? Since the beginning of time. It's a costume. The whole thing's a costume. That's why the whole drag thing is just so insane, because it's really, the whole thing's a big drag race. That's what it is. Okay, here we go. So here is Dr. Wu, and here he is with a giant locust. Surprisingly, as Jurassic World Dominion moves towards its ending, it becomes clear the plot is all about locusts, a species of giant mutant locusts. Okay, do you understand? They're just putting it in front of you. They're just like, we'll just put it right in front of them. Okay, now, let's go to some folders. Ready? Let's go to some other folders like, okay, let's go to, let me close out iRobot. Okay, you see the W? I made the letter W using two V's. That represents your condition. You have a yoke. If you're not converted, it's like having a yoke over your neck. You're yoked to a demon. That's literally the vocabulary in the Bible. When it says you've been carried away captive, it shows you've been yoked to something else. Okay, here we go. Now, let me just close this out. Let me close this out. Watch this. Here we go. Let's freak out, guys. It's like, yeah, freak out. Okay, hang on. Let me see which sheep serpent race. There you go. This is a great folder. This is the sheep serpent race. It's all about the serpent race. Let's just go through some pictures. You know what? I'll tell you what. Before I just start scrolling through all these pictures, let me go to Taylor Swift. Taylor, sweetie, let's talk about your stuff real quick. Let's see. I think it's in this folder. Parthenogenesis. Here we go. Let's talk about the two girls at the Women's March. Look what they do. They get down like they're breeding. And she tells the girl, we're source material. It's where you come from. The two girls at the Women's March. Remember? Let's see if we have a little clip. Okay, sorry, I cannot find that clip. I'll keep looking during this video, but watch this. Here is V for Vendetta. Okay, V for Vendetta. I keep showing you. It's all about understanding it's a twin system. They use the V as a symbol for the number 5. V for Vendetta. She's looking in a mirror and she's reading what's on the mirror. It's in Latin. And listen to what he says.
Fee fairy. Fee fairy. Fee fairy. Versum fifus fisi.
By the power of truth, I, while living, have conquered the universe.
Personal motto.
From Faust.
That's about trying to cheat the devil, isn't it?
It is.
I, while living through the power of truth, have conquered the universe. I'm trying to give that to you. Do you understand? When you know the truth that you've been given the treasures of darkness, you've been converted, inverted, Christ in you, the hope of glory, what else is there? Is there any gift that's bigger than what's being delivered to you? Is there anything you could want? There's nothing you could give me to want to, okay, yeah, I told you, give me $100 billion, you're 25 years old again, you can keep all your skill sets, whatever. No, thank you. But you have to forget who you know and what you know. No, thank you. Wouldn't do it. Because I got the way out. Oh, that's right. Strong's. To persevere. And that's what it's about. Persevering. Now let's go to this. Here you go. Taylor Swift. Here we go. Remember Taylor sitting on the ceiling with her boyfriend? Devils roll the dice and angels roll their eyes because we got rolled, you guys. Okay, so again, let's look at it one more time. Devils roll the dice, angels roll their eyes. So 241, and that hand's a raptor, by the way. That is not a female hand. That is a raptor, and that's why there's no fingernail on the index finger. No girl walks around without a fingernail on her index finger if she's got nails. Sorry. Doesn't happen. They fix it. Okay, devils roll the dice, angels roll their eyes. And you wouldn't put it on the cover of your game. So here it is. Devils roll the dice. What are the dice? 241 and 336. So devils roll the dice. 241 and 336. There you go. Of another race. Like Lady Gaga said. A new race of beings being birthed within the human race. How do they birth? Well, the serpent's got to kill the sheep. A taking up, a destroying, slaying, taking away of life, murder. Okay, if you don't understand what I just gave you, then you're blind, deaf, and dumb. I just showed you Taylor Swift, who's an entertainer, who sings, does concerts. One of her songs, My Boy, My Lover, whatever it is. She's sitting upside down, and the board game that we're playing is about murdering the sheep. Angels. We're angels. It's about murdering angels. Devils roll the dice, angels roll their eyes. Because we got rolled as angels. Now let me show you. Here's a raptor claw, and here's the hand. There you go. That wasn't meant to be a girl's hand. Oh, well, that's interesting. Let's go down here and look at where is it? The girl Maisie. You know what? This is in. There you go. There's a pretty interesting Jurassic World Explained. Okay. But is there a reality behind its cloning, genetic editing, and dinosaurs? Because this is this. This is this. Okay? Yeah, that's hard to wrap your brain around. That's the same energy that produced it. Let me prove it. You see the Vatican? Okay, I'm not showing you Jurassic World now. I'm showing you the damn Vatican. This is a serpent wearing a crown right here. And the building next to it is also a serpent. So I just showed you parthenogenesis in the buildings of the Vatican, the largest church in the world. I mean, do you know what you're looking at right now? The treasures of darkness. I will give unto thee the treasures of darkness. I mean, there's no way to have done all this without getting the treasures of darkness. It's like so crazy. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just like beyond. It's so far beyond the human brain what you're getting to see right here, sometimes I wonder if everybody knows the gravity of what this is. Let's look at these girls from the band. That's an interesting place to take your photo, in front of a big serpent. Huh. That's interesting that part of the draw stuff that they draw in is a serpent. That's interesting that they put 2 X's on their eyes. It's interesting that she says everyone must die, and then you have 2 X's. Did you know if you're going to draw a picture of someone that's dead like a stick figure, you put 2 X's over the eye? You know why? 2X is female. Female is death. Female energy is death. But you have to have both to have a system. You have life and death. And now the life in the system is out. That's one reason Lake Mead stuff, they're going, we're at Deadpool status. And they say it's at 895 feet is Deadpool. 895 in the Bible means without life. So the system itself, the spirit that's running the system, that's writing the article about Lake Mead being at Deadpool, how is it possible but that the number 895 means without life, and that happens to be Deadpool? It's because Elohim is letting you know they've reached the end of the life that's in the system. And then what they're going to do is they're going to wipe it out. So it's going to be a fast frenzy at the end to destroy all the sheep that's left in the system, because they need the energy. They want, see, the sheep are the energy. They need the energy for their side. So they're just, when there's a lot of food, great. When there's not a lot of food, it goes very quick. It accelerates. And that's what's going to happen. And so the lack of food that's going to happen in the world right now is just going to be a manifestation of the spiritual world, which is what's happening. Why do you think all these food processing plants are mysteriously bombing, blowing up? I mean, really? They're paying people to destroy all their own cattle, not take them to market, giving them $2,800 a head. I saw an article of farmers ranchers they're paying me to kill my cattle. This is wrong. Farmers, they're paying me to destroy my crops. Why? It's a manifestation of what's happening to the system. Beavers build dams. Okay, so now let's go here, and I put a bunch of scripture in here again. Matthew, verily I say unto you, unless you be converted, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Converted, to turn quite around, turn the opposite direction. So unless you're turn the opposite direction, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Oh, Isaiah 29. Woe unto them who seek deep to hide their plans from the Lord, their works are in the darkness. Surely you're turning of things upside down. What does upside down mean? It means converted. There it is. Surely you're turning of things upside down. This is Isaiah 29. Surely you're turning of things upside down. It means to turn over, to be converted. Shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. The potter's clay is the Lord God, the self-existing eternal Jehovah, breathing the breath of life into Adam as his representative. That was Jesus' right. Here you go. Here's my spirit. You're my representative. He's the first and he's the last. He's a quickening spirit. That's what happened to me. I got a quickening spirit when I prayed Our Father. See, perfect example. Remember how much flack I took when people, oh, Clint, you said a Hail Mary, you liar. You would never tell you to do that. Whoever says that, you know less than nothing. Okay, because when Michael stepped up to me and said, pray with me, my brother, I prayed Our Father. The Lord told me I had to put my testimony on YouTube. I didn't want to, but I did what he said. Thank God. Water and light came down on me. I was filled with the Holy Spirit. I was anointed. I was like a scene from Star Trek. I was buzzing, glowing, like what in the world just happened? I was totally stunned, stupefied. And then after I said the Our Father, the words, and I was filled with light, then he looked at me and said, now you say a Hail Mary. Okay, now don't forget I was raised Catholic. So there would be no reason for me to ever think that a Hail Mary was wrong. But when he told me to say it, I looked at him like, Why? Somehow I knew it was wrong. But he nodded like, and so as I said the words, my testimony is I felt life and light leaving my body. That's perfect. That is perfection in testimony. Because if you're saying those words, words are spirit. It would be natural that life and light would start leaving my body because that's the opposition. The Lord did that the night I got saved so I could understand who the opposition was. And then I was like, oh, weird. Thank God it didn't all leave. I could feel part of it leaving me, though. It's in my testimony. And then when I turned around to exit the alley and I was looking at Adam in the garden and Christ ascending into heaven, think about that. The first thing I turn and look at is Adam in the Garden of Eden and Christ ascending, the first and the last. Think about that. And then Lou touches my shoulder and I yank my shoulder away from her and I just turn and I go, don't touch me. I'm walking with the Lord. Don't touch me. I'm walking with the Lord. Don't touch me. I told her 3 times not to touch me. What? Because I knew she was unclean. I knew Eleuthera, my one and only super greatest girlfriend, was something about her was like unclean. It's no different than the Hail Mary. I knew something was wrong with it. Don't touch me. I'm walking with the Lord. Don't touch me. Do you get it? Now do you understand the treasures of darkness and to be able to tie it together with Isaiah 29? Those who try and hide their plans, they turn everything upside down. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. Where are the treasures of darkness? They're hidden upside down. And when you see them, you'll know that I am He, the Lord that called you by your name, the God of Israel. So that's how you know. It says it right here. Here you go. So back to Isaiah 45. Okay, here we go. Isaiah 45. I will give you the treasures of darkness, hidden riches, a secret storehouse, hidden riches of secret places, a covert, to hide by covering, to hide self, keep secret, that you may know that I, the Lord, the self-existent eternal Jehovah, which is Jesus, have called thee by your name, an appellation, a marker, memorial, individual, an implication, honor. I am the God of Israel. Do you understand how profound that is now? Parthenogenesis wouldn't have been understandable without me knowing all this. It's like, the end of the world is here, guys. From Adam, when I came out of the alley, let me show you a picture of it. I'll show you a picture of it. Guys, sorry, another just little Johnny glitch, but watch this. Just, you know what? Let's jump to this real quick. A match made in hell. This is a commercial for a dating service. Why do you think Satan comes out and walks over the bridge to the other side of the river to meet his hunter, the female? Why does it show her as a bug? Because there's really a race fertilizing bugs in the pit, using souls of angels. That's why the Vatican is a big bug harvesting semen. Everything I've shown you is proven to be true now. All of it. Every bit of it. This is the greatest mystery in the history of the world. I don't know if you guys really have understood that. You should probably watch this over and over and go over the folders over and over. But let's watch this dating commercial. You're a match. You're a match. The feelings are mutual. So what are you waiting for? So you're a match. It's an insect. You're a match.
Satan?
Hi. 2020.
Please, Only 2020.
I've been feeling so alone. I keep waiting for you, but you never come. Is this in my head? I don't know what to think. He knelt to the ground and pulled out a ring and said, "Marry me, Juliet. You never have to be alone. I love you, and that's all I really know." I talked to your dad, hoping out a white dress. It's a love story.
I just don't want this year to end.
Who would?
So I'm going to play this because I'm not sure what's after the commercial. I'm kind of curious just to see what this is on this, what I did. Let's see. There's the head of a sheep right here. See the sheep's head right here? Yep. This is the neighborhood sign for, like, keep an eye out for a criminal. Because in their world, the sheeps are the criminals. This is the head of a sheep getting cut off right here. This is the eye of a sheep, ear, ear. This is not a guy wearing a cloak. It's a sheep getting its head cut off. And here in the 2020 dating commercial, this is a sheep. Here's a sheep's head right here. Right here, those are the ears. Ear, ear, head of the sheep. It also becomes an insect with this being the eye, and the antenna. You see? So this is right in front of you. Test. going to pause it right there. This is where the whole thing is leading, right here. This is where the whole world is heading for. Locusts out of the pit. That's Satan's army, guys. That's what he's been using all the souls for. To feed locusts from the pit that will come out to make war. That's his army, a locust army. He used the host body system as a trap. It's the greatest illusion. Okay. So anyway, I just want to convey to you guys, if you go back and you watch the last video and you pause it and you get your scripture out and you start looking at these words and you start looking at the fact that Jesus is the self-existent eternal Jehovah Elohim. That's why Elohim hate him. Those of us that we're Elohim. When we turn back to him, we're forgiven, guys. The ones that refuse to turn back to him, those are the ones that are in serious trouble. And being able to see the truth, that's how you know that you know that you know. Now, remember, I told you, I've been around people that say that they're converted and they see everything, but they're phonies, they're frauds. And I mean, it's heartachy and it's heartbreaky, but it's what it is. If this changes your heart and you know, you're like, oh my God, this is the truth. Thank you, Jesus. You know what you got saved from. You can talk to people that use the word Christian all day long. Oh, I'm a Christian. It's like, you don't even know what you got saved from. What'd you get saved from? I ask them, what's the truth? Just tell me what's the truth. Well, what do you mean, what's the truth? Well, what's the truth? Can you tell me what the truth is? They usually can't say hardly anything. They have no clue. We're angels. We were carried away captive into a host body system. We were inverted. We're in a twin system unless you turn back to God. You turn back with your whole heart and you admit your guilt before God and you ask for forgiveness. Then you go to the pit and you become food for a locust. End of story. That's it. Okay, now. It's just like, there's a lot going on. I mean, I could make this video a lot longer just by playing this. You know what? This is a really good slideshow, and if you just watch this slideshow, I mean, you can wrap this video up right now if you want, but if you want to watch a slideshow that's got amazing, amazing imagery in it, and it's got stuff from the Targum, and it's got, stuff that maybe, depending on how long you've been around, that you haven't seen, but all the concepts are here. And this slideshow is chocked full of supernatural data, treasures of darkness. If you watch this thing, you'll probably understand more. And sometimes it's good to pause these videos and get out your scripture. Handle the Word of God yourself. If you really want to take hold of this, like the Lord's let me take hold of this. It's the greatest treasure there is. There's no greater treasure. None. Knowing that you know the God of Israel, you know Jesus, you know El, the Father, the Almighty God. There's nothing else. Anyway, all right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my bear who's wearing a Hook shirt. By the way, Hook is a fishing brand for fishing. And one of the guests that was at A Night Under the Stars, he was Asian. He told me that in his language, hook means love. The way you say it, can mean different things, but hook means love. So I'm going to have my bear wearing the Hook shirt because it's love that saves us. And I love you, Hook. And now I'm going to give you a hug. I love you. All right, I love you in Christ. And there you go. And now I'm going to continue this slideshow. Just if you want to see more treasures of darkness, watch the rest of the slideshow. It's mind-boggling. I'm going to sit here and watch it for sure. Okay, here we go.
Fee fairy, Versum, Fifus Fisi.
By the power of truth, I, while living, have conquered the universe.
Personal motto.
From Faust.
That's about trying to cheat the devil, isn't it?
It is.
That's my parachute. That's the artwork on my parachute. V for vengeance. I wonder what that means. Uh-huh. Looks like the LZ, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. I want to briefly interrupt the slideshow just to let you know something. So this slideshow, what it's about is showing you that it's a double U system. There's a good U and there's a bad U. There's a red U and blue. Think of your body. There's red blood that is oxygenated that goes one direction, and there's another blood that's not oxygenated that goes another direction. Think about it. Even your body, the blood in your body is set up to manifest the system red and blue, life and death, oxygen, no oxygen, light and dark, good and evil. I mean, this is mind-boggling, guys. And so these little clips, like this is a double-headed phoenix from the Catholic Church, and this is the crown right here. You see the V right here intersecting with the other one. It makes like a W. It makes an X in the middle like D. This is DNA, guys. These are DNA strands right here. And these DNA strands, they made sure it made a V and a V. They made sure it made a W. They made sure it made an X in the middle. And then it's got a serpent for the crown. That's the serpent is the crown of the male and female double-headed phoenix. So see, all this stuff is so deep and so profound that the Lord let me accumulate it, amass it into an insanely giant treasure. I mean, there's probably, I don't know, maybe 30, 40,000 pictures. There's a lot of pictures. I think there's folders that aren't even in here, but there's a ton of data, and all of it is supported by the Word. So that's what's so crazy. Here we go. Double-headed phoenix, crown on top is the head of a serpent. So I told Dave usually to make these concepts visible, so we should superimpose that serpent head right here. That's the eye of the serpent, mouth of the serpent, nostril, like pit. The Prisoner Wine Company, look at the W. See the W intersecting V's. That shows you're a prisoner. Here's one of their bottles. Blindfold. I mean, that's just crazy. Look at that. There's the Vatican's a snake. I mean, it's an upside down cross. This is treasure, folks. Pure gold. This upside down cross turns into a serpent. This is the palace of the government at the Vatican. This is the split-tongue sidewalk. Look how this rectangular building is identical to this one. Palacio de Gubernare. That's where the tongue of the serpent goes. Truth and lies. Do you get it? One building's one thing, the twin's another. Do you get it? Even in the architecture. The guys on the cross, Gesmus and Decimus, right there when Jesus was crucified in the middle, reconciling both to God. So Jesus reconciles your twin set because you are a set of twins. That's you up on the cross. On the crosses, I should say, your good side and your bad side. That's what that represents. Now you know. There's the Statue of Liberty holding the torch, which is a penis in front of twin DNAs. Look, those are DNA strands, folks. Let me show you something. You see these twin towers at night? Go look up DNA strands under microscopes. It will blow your mind. The twin towers literally were meant to look like giant DNA strands. I put them in folders. It's insane. There's the twin towers under the Arch of Washington. Exitus Octa Probat right here. Right here. Exitus Octa Probat. The outcome justifies the deed. What's the outcome? Well, they're getting their one world freedom tower. They're getting their new race of beings. What's their deed? Killing God's angels. And they're like, okay. They think they're going to have a wonderful world. The Lord's coming to destroy it. I'm the messenger. There's the twin towers burning underneath the Arch of Washington. There it is. There's the twin towers burning under the arch. Their DNA markers are. See those? Those are actual DNA markers, you guys. Those are DNA. And I put them under the Arch of Washington. Oh, wow, that's crazy. They look just like the Twin Towers. There's Marina Abramovic writing her spell. See the letter W? Spirit cooking with a sharp knife cut deeply into the middle finger of your left hand. Eat the pain. What's the... So the middle finger, see? It's a set of twins. She knows. Marina Abramovic is one evil, evil woman. She's the witch of Hollywood. And all these people go to her. Look at this. Oh, you know, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Franco, man, Seth Rogen. There's tons of people that hang out with Marina Abramovic. Patricia, that Arquette chick that's been freaking out lately in the news. So here's the system. Cain and Abel. Good and evil. Okay, male and female. That's why Jay-Z and Marina Abramovic tied their hair together to represent the double-headed phoenix. There it is. I mean, this is pure, solid gold, platinum understanding. There's the Twin Towers representing the two V's. And it, you know, right side up, upside down, but each one is its own DNA marker. Seed of the serpent, seed of the woman. It's phenomenal. Here's the city of Waco. See two intersecting V's? One V with the star, one V with the crescent moon. That's the symbol of Islam. Turn it over and it makes a 9/11. Look right here. 9/11 with the star in the middle. Here's our... This is... that is a... Let me go back. That is a crescent moon right here. See the crescent moon? Birthing a star. Go look at Islam. Go look at the police cars in Louisiana, I think, in New Orleans, I think. They have this symbology. Why would you have a city with a V with a star and a V with a crescent moon? And then you turn it upside down. The city of Waco, Texas. And look, 9/11. It's just... Do you have the ability to perceive? The Lord gave that to me as a gift. The Lord taught me how to read serpent language. He taught me how to read Elohim. I mean, for goodness sake, it's not arguable. I mean, Will Smith, 4084 badge number. I apprehend, catch, and arrest. I robot, he's a cop. The Lord taught me that. The Lord's the one that showed me what the Vatican was. So he's giving you a gift. It's awesome. Look at this. City of Waco, 9/11. And what's this all about? Inverting a star. So right here, the two V's, the star is right side up. It's being birthed. This represents a uterus, a birthing crescent moon. So here's a star. And then when you rotate it, this represents us. We get inverted. See the star's inverted? Church of Satan. I'm telling you, this is gold. Pure gold, all of it. City of Waco, 9/11 emergency, crescent moon. Here's the Twin Towers. I put DNA strands on them because the two become one. So you burn those up and then you put the One World Freedom Tower. But look at what they put right here at the top of the tower. See the observation room? Watch this. See the observation room right here? See the cross? Look at this. See the W with the Delta symbol on it? It's like you can't even make this stuff up. This is the top of the One World Freedom Tower observation deck. Look at that. Yeah, no big deal. They've converted the 2 to 1. Get it? Each V representing one of the twins. Here's the Kelapot, the 11-pointed star that the Statue of Liberty sits on. Its appeal, shell or husk, housing the essence of holiness. So here's the Statue of Liberty standing on top of what represents the host body system. She's looking towards the east, towards the rising of Apollyon out from the east. By the way, she looks to the east because Helios is the representation, the personification of the sun, riding his chariot across the sky. So they put the Statue of Liberty facing east, looking at the rising sun, because they're waiting for Apollyon to rise up out of the pit. It's so crazy. How do they do all this? Alchemist series, the ancient metaphysical science, mystical art of manipulating and altering matter by using natural energy. This act is known as transmutation. Transgender. Oh. They're taking male energy from heaven, putting it in a system that's called the host body. That's why you see all the gender confusion these days. And they're using the gender thing, demons, angel and a demon, to destroy the angel and get his energy, which is male energy, through the transmutation system called the host body system. Get that energy to the locusts in the pit so they can come out and make war. And the host body system is kind of like hypnotized, and they are being used by the angel of the bottomless pit to do things like CERN, build the Twin Towers. It's like an ant nest. It's a hive. It's just a big ass hive. And so the angel of the bottomless pit's telling the hive what to do. They're building buildings. They're blowing up buildings. They're making dollar bills that have bombings on them. The hive is doing all that crap. Now you can see it. Yes, it was hidden before, but the Lord gave me the treasures of darkness. You know what? I don't know if I can blow it. Yes, the new one. So guys, the king's coming. I'm freaking out. Here we go. So how do you, this act is known as transmutation, and its sequence is as described. Comprehension. Number one, you have to understand the inherent structure and the properties of the atomic or molecular makeup of a particular particle or material to be transmuted. Okay, what are they transmuting? Light beams, including the flow and the balance of potential and kinetic energy within. So they're breaking down an angel, which is a light beam. Deconstruction, using energy to break down the physical structure. So you get them in a host body, and you get them in there with a demon. The identified material into a more malleable state. Oh, wow, I saw that word in a letter someone wrote me. In a more malleable state so as to be easily reshaped into a new form. Reconstruction, continuing the flow of energy so as to reform the material into a new shape. Let's see. Can you say angel, host body to locust? Transmutation device. Host body. Why do you think there's all this trans stuff? Hey, let's have drag time story hour with your kids so we can destroy them early. Do you get it? Transgender shouldn't have special rights, but they do. I mean, don't get the right pronoun right, you could be in jail. That's insane. Lori Lightfoot was freaked out about the Roe versus Wade because now she's worried they're going to come after. She said it's a call to arms. They're coming for the trans community next. Why? I don't know that they deserve all the special rights they think they have. Yeah. Wonder why Obama's calling Michelle Michael all the time on accident. There you go. Okay, because this is the takeover. It's a gender takeover. Reconstruction, continuing the flow of energy to reform the material into a new shape. So they take the angel, transmute it, it goes to a locust by being in a host body system where a demon destroys it, and the works of the flesh put you in the pit unless you get born again from Christ and you go back to your Father, our Father. There you go. Here's one of the rappers that sold out. What's he doing with his fingers? What's this really cool hand gesture he's making? Is that two V's interlocking making a W? You mean because you know the little secret? Well, I know the secret too. Go read this thing Jay-Z has on. In the name of Allah. See it? See the crescent moon birthing the star and the number 7? And Jay-Z's like, there's only this. Go look up the meaning of that thing. I went and looked it up. It'll blow your mind, the thing Jay-Z's wearing. There's Bart Simpson with 9/11, and he's holding U.S. currency. 9/11, made by the Twin Towers. No big deal. No big deal that all this has been in front of us all the time. It's a hive. The whole thing is a hive. Satan runs the hive. Now, let me tell you something. A building doesn't just fall down like that. There's no way a building falls in its own footprint. Anyone that thinks that that building fell that way has not done 1 hour of research. It's impossible. You couldn't melt the steel. It had to be used nanothermite. They found nanothermite all over the place. This whole thing is the biggest joke in the world. Anyone that believes it. Yeah, that's how buildings fall. In their own footprint. So insane. And then they force people, oh no, that's the way it happened. If you don't believe it, you're in trouble. It's like, okay, whatever. I guess that's the London Bridge, or maybe it's the Twin Bridge in London, the London Bridge. Oh, the Tower Bridge. Look at the W on Tower. The City of London, TOW. 2 V's, twin. Here's the series. We are of peace always, V. The series V. And look how the face is made. Twin female. Look, one's got a slit eye, one's got a regular eye. There's Taylor Swift doing double V's under each eye with a serpent on one of her fingers. Twin liquors, 2 intersecting V's making a W, because they know the system is twins. V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta with Natalie Portman. That's my canopy artwork. V for Vengeance. For the canopy that the Lord told me to have made. Jump in Grand Junction and jump in Chinati. V for Vengeance. V the letter for vengeance. Upside down. V the letter for vengeance. Either way you look at it. Here you go.
By the power of truth, I, while living, have conquered the universe.
Personal motto.
From
Yes,
past.
That's about trying to cheat the devil, isn't it?
it
It
is.
is.
Now you know why V for Vengeance. This is the spot of repentance right there. Where down turns to up. right, guys. Amen. Jeez. All right. I love you guys. I mean, guys, I wish, I mean, we could all hang out all the time. I had such a good time at the Night Under the Stars. I mean, it was super busy. I wish I could hang out with everybody to where we're all hanging out all the time, where we're all around each other. You know what I mean? We're a family. I still have to talk to you guys about the Ark and what's going on. And I will be talking about it. Currently, I'm just kind of put together, you know, basically an outline of showing everybody where we were, what was happening, what was going on, what changed. You know, there was a bit of a problem, and I addressed the problem, and then what ensued made manifest some very disturbing stuff, and the Lord said He would remove His blessing from the person that was speaking contemptuously. I'll just say that's what the Lord gave me. Anyway, but I don't want to get into it right now, but it's something we're going to end up having to talk about. And I'm, like I said, I'm just kind of waiting. Tennis, the ball's in your court. I'm just kind of waiting. And because there's a timing for everything in the Lord's economy. And so I'm just waiting on the Lord too. So, all right, guys, I love you in Christ. Let's give you another bear hug from the bear wearing the Hook shirt. Oh, hope I said that right. All right, I love you guys. Peace and grace. So listen, there's nothing to be scared of. I mean, naturally, if you start thinking about different ways of dying, or, oh, well, I hope this doesn't happen, people go down that road. Just no matter what, trust in the Lord no matter what's happened. He saved you from eternal death. You've been saved. Look, you've been saved from eternal death. Guaranteed you have eternal life. So you've checked the most important box. I mean, is there any other box that's more important than checking than that? No. And so, a letter to the angel of the church of Philadelphia. Thus saith he that is holy, he that is true, he that hath the key of David, he that openeth doors, and no man shutteth, and no man openeth. I know that he promised me the night I got saved, 4 ride for 1, and he promised me the night I got saved, there was a lifeboat, and it was time to get everybody to the lifeboat the best I could. He guaranteed me. The night I got saved, I knew all this. I knew the end was here the night I got saved. I mean, I didn't think it. It was instilled in me because a new spirit had taken over me. And everything that came with him was already in me. It's the only way I know how to put it. How could I have gotten all this right? How could I be skydiving with my girlfriend who's got fangs, and I fly up and kiss her and I have fangs, and she knocks my glasses off, and then I turn upside down and have to finish my skydive upside down because I'm blinded, because I can't see, because I'm going 120 miles an hour and my eyelids are flapping. So when I kissed her, I couldn't see. I was blind, and I became an upside down vampire. I mean, it's like, freak out. I would love to sit around and tell you guys stories like if I could sit right now and just tell you guys the personal stories, like, guys, y'all want to freak out? I have so many stories that are personal stories that, I don't get to talk about on YouTube. Stuff that you literally would be like, so insane. Anyway, yeah, so my life's been pretty wild. It's been pretty insane. And here's the thing. This is guaranteed. Jesus is coming no matter what. No matter what even you think, because it's according to the Word, according to the revelation, according to all the data. Just look at the data. In the end, all things secret will be revealed. I have a revelation gift. So, all right, guys, I love you in Christ. Everything's going to be good. I'm going to try and knock out just scripture, a lot of scripture. I want to plug every video with scripture now, because the Word is the most important thing. The gift that ties it together is a confirming witness. Like the image of the Virgin is a confirming witness to the Word. The treasures of darkness, there they are. There's the treasures of darkness. The Virgin's a dead sheep. The Madonna in her video, the virgin's the dragon. The dragon's female. Oh, I will take vengeance against her. That's what the Bible says. The time of her judgment has come. Her sins are as high as, are stacked as high as heaven. And the time of her judgment has come. The woman that rides the beast. See, she rides the beast like through the beast system. Do you get it? The woman that rides the beast. She rides the beast system. It's her thing. Color, you know, in scarlet and purple. What happens when what's red and blue mixed together? It's purple. Have you ever gone and read the definition of the word crimson? It says as the kernel color of an insect. Just like the Satan commercial, she's an insect. She's for an insect breeding. Her purpose is to feed the insects in the pit. That's why Lady Gaga's got an insect on her dress and a serpent. Serpent race feeding the insects. Freak out. It's so crazy. All right. Anyway, I love you guys in Christ. I could just sit here and ramble for a few hours, but I want you guys to get a little rest. And me too. Okay, guys. Peace and grace. And I'll be here as much as I can. All right. Take care.